Didn't realise anything like that existed still. So we've arrived in Norfolk and we've come to Oxburgh Hall, which is very nice because it has got dedicated spaces for motorhomes and camper vans. That's nice. That's very nice, isn't it? We've only just got here, but it's time for a cuppa. Or from the cafe. So we've had a bad start to our tour to Norfolk. Overslept, so we left about 3 hours later than planned. And then something's twanged in my leg, so I'm having difficulty walking. So we went to the cafe. Rachel then went round the house, and before I could have a go at going around the house, they'd shut. so only Rachel went round the house. So what was the house like, Rachel?
Oh, it's lovely. It's really interesting. It's not very big.
No.
The owners still live there.
Different from other houses?
Yes, yes. Although it did have a priest hidey hole built by a person called Nicholas Owen, who built hidey holes in a home not far from where we live.
We're just walking around the house. Now it's got this lovely moat going all the way around.
This house was rebuilt from a wreck, basically, and it's a mishmash of furnishings inside. It's really interesting. The dining room, the counter is made up of, they think it's two bed heads, which is really interesting.
The furniture?
Yeah.
I mean, it does look interesting on the outside. In fact, it looks very similar to the house in the house, doesn't it?
Yes, because that's got water.
It's the same sort of, yeah, but it's the same sort of brick.
Maybe that's what Catholics do.
Yeah. All the twirly bits. It's early March, it's moody, we've had sunshine, but it's only about 6 degrees and it's just started raining now. We're just going to walk around and then we're going to go off to a private campsite tonight, which is slightly different from one we stopped at. I don't know if we're on grass or on gravel, so let's hope it's not grass, as it's a bit damp at the moment. It's just started to pour with rain, so we're heading back. There were a few other things that we could have done here, but we've left it all a little bit late. So we're not going to go around the derelict church and things. We're just going to go back to the motorhome. So the rain has now turned to hail.
Is
there anywhere else with passing places? Yeah. Okay.
Just before the bridge, there's a green on the left.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Silence for the
Yeah, there might be something I didn't tell you. Campsite is actually at the station.
Turn right, then you have reached your destination. It is on your left.
Railway station with camping.
This is pretty.
No, I don't know where the camping is. This is what I said, there was a restaurant or cafe tomorrow morning. Yeah, unfortunately it's not working while we're here.
Oh, that's sad.
Right, I can't see a campsite, can you? Good morning and welcome back. We've arrived at Whitwell and Reepham station, which has its own campsite, and that's where we stayed last night. There's a lot of aeroplane noise, hope that doesn't come out too much. So the site itself, which is £27 for the night, I think is possibly at this time of year a little bit overpriced, but you are paying really to be right next to the station, which at the moment it isn't in steam. It's not working till the weekend, but it's just nice to have a look around. The site itself was we've got a flat hard surface to park on. We've got water and electric within easy reach of the pitch, so there's no problem with filling it up. The downside, I think, is well, the toilets and showers you wouldn't use at this time of year because it's just basically an outside shed. Nicely done, I've got to say. In the summer, especially if you've got a tent, it would be fine, but not this time of year. The site itself a little bit untidy, but then it is March. What do you think, Rachel?
Well, I think there's a lot of permanent or semi-permanent caravans, and then also static caravans.
Yeah, which nothing against those. It's just not. It doesn't have the feel of a holiday place, does it?
No.
It feels more like train buff sort of land, which is fair enough.
But
There's
the owner,
the owner, Steve.
he came.
He couldn't do
greeted
enough
us.
for you, really.
Yeah.
He came to introduce himself and tell us where everything was, and he would have told us more, but we didn't need like shops and things because we were only staying the one night. It just seemed an unusual place to stop, and it is. So I think from that point of view, it's worth the money. That £27 does include the electric. So the only thing I couldn't see where to empty the grey water. Not that we need to today, but you might need a waste master or something, or a bucket to empty the wastewater. Or ask where it is, but I couldn't see a drive over, so that's fair enough. Some of the bins are in the station if you need those as well, but it's got recycling and bins actually on the site. There's a miniature railway that we went to have a look at. That's again not running, but it's just interesting to see that. It would be nice perhaps to pop back in the summer when all these things are working, but just makes for an interesting place to stop. Sorry? Yeah.
Two-station circular walk.
Yeah, there's a 2-station circular walk. Where does it say that?
Oh, that's on there.
Oh. Oh, there. Which is a 5 mile or cycle. This is the Marriott's Way, and it actually runs for 26 miles on this old disused railway.
We won't be doing that.
And Rachel says she'll do it later after breakfast.
I'll run it.
And it's going over one of the bridges. The plan is with no rush to leave. Having said that, we have moved down back onto the station, which is free to park, because the downside of the actual campsite, and I think this is something maybe the campsite should think about, is the arrival is after 3. Well, even caravan club sites is arrival after 1, so you've lost a couple of hours there, and you're meant to leave by 10, where most campsites I've been is leave by 12 or 11 at the earliest. Leave by 10 is a bit of a push, so we've had to move down on to the actual station rather than leave it on the campsite while we go for a walk this morning. So that's 5 hours you've lost, and that price, I think maybe that price is worth it in the summer. I think perhaps they could consider lowering it down off season like this. Which explains there was only us and another motorhome on the site visiting last night by the looks of it. The journey was quite interesting getting here yesterday as we come through the fens along one of the canals. The roads, they're not so much potholed, but they're marked to 60 miles an hour, but you can only go like 40 because they've got so many bumps in. We nearly took off at one point, didn't we?
The dog moved to lie on the floor. She didn't like
she
lying on
changed
the
it.
seat.
It was like being on a roller coaster. I suppose it gets affected by the water, but it was just going up and down and up and down and up. We were getting seasick just driving down this
It
road.
was worse than a roller coaster because it was constant, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, so we just we rearranged some of our contents of the van just by driving down that road, I think. But we got here, and the scenery suddenly changed into this sort of wooded sort of scenery as we got here, because some of it was just very bare and open, as you expect in the sort of fens. But this bit doesn't actually look, in my mind, like Norfolk, what I expected of Norfolk. And as usual, go and have a cuppa. I don't think they do a sort of breakfasty thing. There's a cafe there, it does, and it's dog friendly. That's the other thing to say. It does like burgers. There's a pizza I saw for £11. Burgers are about 7, I think. Coffees, hot chocolates, that sort of stuff. I didn't see a full English breakfast, but you never know. We've just had breakfast in the cafe. We've had hot chocolate, and I had a breakfast bun, which was absolutely delicious. I'd certainly go back and have another one of those. And so we're now going to leave the railway station here. What Rachel doesn't know is the next site also has a railway theme, and in fact it's just further on down this disused railway, and there's a caravan and motorhome club CL, but an old station. Let's go and see what it's like.